Once again, everybody, Gerald Brown here, Heavy in the Paint, episode number 3. The big fella, the bad boy himself, Mr. Rick Mahorn. He'll be back real soon. He's getting himself together because the NFL season is here. The NBA season is right around the corner, so Big Rick will be back soon. But nevertheless, you tuned in for a doozy. Our first official guest, I call this gentleman a friend, an outstanding individual. He's a brother. He's perhaps one of the most funniest people I've ever met. Always have come on the shows. He's an actor, comedian, but more importantly, he's a sports fan to the fullest. The one and only Mr. Maronzio Vance.
Gerald Brown, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, man. The first guest to come on this show with Commercial Entertainment and stuff like that. So
Curmudgeon, man. I'm a
Commercial.
curmudgeon is like a grumpy, just cranky for no reason.
So, you hanging out here in Heavy in the Paint. Let's talk some football because I'll ask you right off the bat.
Go ahead.
The 49ers, they're 2-0. Very impressive week 1 to go into Pittsburgh and lay the smackdown on the Steelers.
Yep.
And Brock Purdy, a lot of questions. Yours truly have said, I don't know if he's the real deal. Being Mr. Irrelevant, came in, defenses catch up. How surprised are you at this 49ers team starting the year out 2-0?
Well, let's first give credit to the orchestrator, which is Kyle Shanahan, being able to put this team together. Do I like Brock Purdy? Yes. Was he a force to be reckoned with when he was at Iowa State? Yes, absolutely. But do I think he can carry the 49ers? Like, is that the franchise quarterback? I'm not sure yet. We thought the same thing about Jimmy Garoppolo, and we see how that turned out. We thought Trey Lance was going to be the second coming of, I don't know who he was supposed to be the second coming of, but he never came. So Brock Purdy, he's solid. You know what I mean? We can't say, oh, that's Tom Brady 2.0. That's not happening. Ball, does he manage the clock well? Yes. Does he make mistakes? I have not seen him do that yet. He's solid, man. He's a solid quarterback. He's stacked offensively. Debo, Kittle, you got McCaffrey coming out the backfield doing everything except parking the cars at the stadium. And the defense, the Golden Army defense is insane. I mean, I would give them and the Cowboys probably have the best defense in the NFL right now. You don't believe in the Cowboys defense?
Well, that's my first question. So, Maronzio, I got a series of questions that I got to get your opinion on. First and foremost, I've said that the San Francisco 49ers are the best team to sum up this thing that says, yeah, they're good, but, they got this, but. And so far, the buts haven't come up yet. They've stood out. It's only 2 games in there, but I like the direction they're going. But also, too, you look at their division, it's nothing there. The Rams are a shell of themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I look at this team in that division. The Seahawks, and the Arizona Cardinals are playing for next year's lottery. So, clearly they should win their division. But when you look at them, how they stack up with the other teams, and I'm asking you straight up because you're a 49ers fan. Is this the year for the 49ers to be able to go all the way?
I don't know.
Come on, Maronzio, don't do that. Don't do that.
You give me 6 games in and come back to that question right now. Like I said, Brock Purdy looks solid right now. Did the Baltimore Ravens win with Trent Dilfer? Yeah, they did. How? I don't know. I couldn't do it on Madden, but they did it in real life. You know what I mean? So it's like, do you need an outstanding quarterback? Do you need a good, efficient offense and have talent stacked around them? Like, Brock Purdy could be Seinfeld, and everybody else around there could be, Louise Dreyfus and Jason Alexander and Michael Richards. Like, everybody else could be like great, talented people carrying a okay person.
Right.
We won't know until they get a challenge. I mean, do we believe in the Pittsburgh Steelers? No. Do we know what the Rams are going to look like? No. They got some players injured. Stafford talked about in the offseason how I don't understand these young ball players. Like, you better get an app that lets you communicate with people that was born before you, so you could talk to, or born after you, so you could talk to them. But I don't know what the Rams are right now. So I'm like, when we play a team like Dallas, I'll be like, okay. We play a team like Kansas City and see how we do. Okay. I haven't looked at the complete schedule, but we play a team that you say, oh, that's a playoff team. I don't think they played a playoff team yet, even though the Rams have a solid squad. I don't believe in them.
Yeah. Let me ask you this, though. You mentioned about the Dallas Cowboys.
Yep.
And they have looked like world beaters these first two games. Really, they stepped on the Giants, which was embarrassing. And then they played the Jets minus Aaron Rodgers. How much can you really gauge from that? Because I'm not going gung-ho over the Cowboys after two games against teams that they were inferior. They were so much better. It was so much Daniel Jones, the psyche of trying to beat them. And then you had the whole debacle with an unfortunate situation where Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. How do you judge the Cowboys and say they're world beaters?
From what I understand, Daniel Jones didn't know the game had started until the fourth quarter. So then that's when he decided, he thought everything was warm up, and then they were like, "Oh no, the game is already playing." He's like, "Oh, so we down 40? Yeah. Ah man, let me grub hub something to the house because this is gonna be painful to watch the highlights of." But you look, the Cowboys are going to cowboy in the sense of the defense looks incredible. And that's all that we can talk about is the defense looks great. Is Dak the guy? Dak is just like Brock Purdy. Solid, but can he bring a team back from being down 2 touchdowns? I don't think so. I don't think Brock Purdy can bring us down. If we were down, 28-14 in the fourth quarter, am I going to be like, we got a shot? Until he do it, I don't believe it. Until Dak does it, I don't believe it.
So here, heavy in the paint, Gerald Brown, actor, comedian extraordinaire, Maronzio Vance. You got to make sure you check him online on social media. He is hilarious. Vance, when I look at the Eagles,
yep,
they also 2-0. Played some very good football. Jalen Hurts looks outstanding. They're okay. And then I look at the Commanders. They're 2-0. How much do you think that the success of the Commanders and the Eagles have really helped that NFC East division really become something that's worth watching? I mean, I didn't expect the Commanders to be 2-0, especially going into Denver the way they did and handled Denver.
Right. I mean, the Denver situation, I don't know what the future, no pun intended, for Russell Wilson looks like. But it's like he does not look like the Russell Wilson from Seattle. I don't know what it is. He cares.
Yeah, let's get in. I want to get back to that because that's my next question. But okay. The Commanders and the Commanders and the Eagles.
So here's the thing: with the Eagles, you know what you're getting. You're getting a team that went to the Super Bowl. They stacked up. They didn't really lose a lot of significant pieces in the offseason. It could be argued that they even got better. They could. How the teams have that hangover from the success from the previous season that could be lingering a little bit. It could also be a thing of we don't need to press on the gas right now. We could just cruise the first 2 games of the season. Let's see how everybody else is playing. The Commanders, I don't know what that is because we don't know the identity of that team. You know what I mean? We don't know the quarterback. That guy just showed up. He was working at Trader Joe's, and they were like, "Yo, we saw how you threw those lemons in the bag. You think you could throw them to the lemons on our field?" And they were like, "Sure." What time the game start? I get off work at 6. You said 7. I'll be there. Somebody got to come pick me up, right? So you don't know the identity of the team. You tip my hat off to Ron Rivera for duct taping something together. You know what I mean? We don't know what that is, but it's a nice conversation to have.
Let's give some credit to Eric Bieniemy.
Let's
give him some credit because a lot of people were saying, "Hey, you know what? He was the guy that got it going in Kansas City.
Absolutely.
So let's give some love to him.
I didn't get a chance to get to him yet, but Eric, everywhere he goes, the ball is getting in the end zone. The offense is crafty. The offense is smart. He's one of those people that just knows how to utilize his talent, and he gets the most out of them. You hear me? So whatever he's doing in Washington, it's scary to see it because he's like, man, you went in with this. Is it time for him to move up to be a head coach? And I don't know if I want to see that or not. Like, I like where he is. You stack that pressure on him and say, now go run a whole team. Some people just meant to do that one thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One thing, and that's all.
Yeah.
So
no,
Eric is hats off to Eric Bieniemy as far as like an offensive guru.
Yeah. Let's go back to another former, supposedly offensive guru, and that's Sean Payton. Denver Broncos are 0-2, Maronzio. And thank God for marijuana being legal up there in Colorado, because right now, this is not looking like they had thought it was going to be. It was supposed to be the savant and Sean Payton correcting a guy in Russell Wilson. Maronzio, they're 0-2. And yes, they lost that first game 17-16 to the Raiders, but they had a lead in this game against Washington. And I think from a psychological standpoint, those type of losses will start to fester in their mind, because when they have leads, if something goes wrong, it's like, oh, here we go again. How bad is this situation?
Russell Wilson about to be the most expensive backup quarterback the NFL has ever seen, because he's not gonna get that money up.
No.
So he's gonna be the most expensive backup. Because what they give him, over $200 million?
Yes, he's getting a lot of money. Let's say he's getting a lot of money.
They paid him
a lot of money to keep his hair curly.
They must have paid him in cannabis money, because ain't nowhere in the world Denver had that on the books to give him. Who gonna give? We're gonna give him how much? 200.
But let's be clear. He was coming off of Super Bowl. He was the MVP candidate. He did a lot.
You know what it was? And I don't want to make this analogy, but it's all I can think of on short notice. Pete Carroll is somewhat like Greg Popovich. He has a system where you look great in Pete Carroll's system. Pete Carroll knows how to rile up grown men the way they got riled up in college to go out there and bang their heads up against another human being. And they leave the system, and you see, oh, you need to go back to Seattle.
Well,
you don't look good in that system. And you know what it is? It sours Peyton's return. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure he's driving home from the game like, I could have just stayed at home. I don't need this. I got money. Why am I doing this? It's like going back to somebody you broke up with. Like, why am I with this person again? She set my car on fire. Why did I go back? Because she can cook? Oh, no. I don't care if you use ricotta cheese. I don't care about ricotta cheese. I am losing. And that's what Sean doing right now.
That is a big issue. And again, the way it looks, they've already lost one divisional game to the Raiders.
Mm-hmm.
You got Kansas City in that division. Okay. Thankfully, the Chargers have been the Chargers. So they're 0-2. But when you look at that division, the Kansas City Chiefs are there. And you're going to have to beat the big bully on the block. And if you can't do that, it's not looking good. But I wonder how all of this is going to play out moving forward.
But Denver doesn't even look like they have Denver doesn't look like they even have an identity right now. Like, they just like, you got a Hall of Fame coach, you got a Hall of Fame football player, and they are putting up NIT numbers. Well, you got John Elway is like, I might have to play this season. Or they're gonna duct tape Peyton Manning's neck together again so he can go out there and play, but it don't look good.
Maronzio Vance joining me, Gerald Brown here. Heavy in the paint. break it down week 2 of the NFL and set the table for week 3. I want to look at the young rookie quarterbacks. And again, it's not that much been made, somewhat. Anthony Richardson, his play in Indianapolis. CJ Stroud is playing with the Texans, and they're in that AFC South division. And then you have in the NFC South, Carolina Panthers, your team, your hometown team, and Bryce Young. You
Ooh.
know, look, I'm all for anybody getting their money, but I've been saying for the longest, I'm a little concerned because from a durability standpoint, now granted, he hasn't gotten hurt, but with him back there, I don't see anything that just jumps off the TV to say, "Oh, that's a franchise quarterback." I see it. I don't see that in him, Maronzio. And granted, yes, he's a rookie quarterback, but his play hasn't been that. It hasn't been.
So
It's
you
been.
look at the Panthers offense, right? Give me a player on that team that you plan for because that's the person y'all are worried about. There's nobody on the Panthers offensive side where you're like, ooh, how are we going to contain? There's nobody on that team that you have to really worry about, right? You look at Anthony Richardson, concussion, but still he shows some signs of like, okay, we made the right decision here. You know what I mean? Like you can see where that's a possibility. CJ Stroud, I feel bad for. Look, man, they put a lot of young quarterbacks in situations that they may not be ready for. They put a lot of young quarterbacks in a situation where there's going to be a lot of growing pains. There's going to be a lot of learning pains. Same thing with Trey Lance, learning pains. I know Justin Field wants to go back to Ohio State. I think he's even talked about going back to Ohio State. Like, I would rather go back and be a Buckeye and sign a 5-year deal to eat in that cafeteria. This Chicago Bears thing that's happening. Where's Rex Grossman? Because I'm sick of this. He has no consistency. He can't get the ball off. Tired of running. I played with him on Madden the other day. He just stopped running. He threw the ball down and walked off the field. In the middle of the game, Gerald. Justin Fields walked off the field in the middle of the game. And I tried to bring him back in after halftime, and he had deleted himself. The video game deleted him.
When you look at quarterback play, Cincinnati Bengals, Maronzio, they're 0-2. Now, if there's ever a excuse that could be a valid excuse, let's be clear. They played against the Cleveland Browns, first game of the season. No Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow had played all preseason,
right,
nursing the calf strain. And Cleveland has basically matched up very well and kind of dominated the Cincinnati Bengals in recent time. Their second game, they go out and they have to play against a Baltimore Ravens team that really, really has been playing well. When you look at the Cincinnati Bengals, Maronzio, I'm not worried that they're 0-2 because I think that still when they get it going, they can compete with Kansas City. They can compete with Buffalo. They can compete with Baltimore. The biggest problem is just that when they get going.
I think what we should all do, and I don't know if we have the power to do it, but we should definitely put a now hiring offensive line outside of the Cincinnati Bengals stadium. They do not have an offensive line, and Joe Burrow knows it. And we were shocked when they went to the Super Bowl when they did because they didn't have an offensive line then. They didn't beef up the offense. You got a wonderful, strong, confident, not afraid to take a hit quarterback in Joe Burrow. Future franchise quarterback. Right?
He is. He's a franchise quarterback.
Best quarterback they've had since Carson Palmer.
Easily.
Right? Could go down as the best Bengal to ever play the game if they get him the help he needs. When you snap the ball that you're going to have to run for your life, it's hard to get settled. And that's a part of his problem. He need help.
Well, see, it's unlike the NBA, Maronzio, where you have a salary cap. And the biggest thing is, listen, they could have went after the offensive lineman, I believe, Penei Sewell, went to Detroit Lions that year, but they chose to go and get him a weapon and Jamar Chase. And when they did that, yeah, they're going to have some areas that's their kryptonite.
Right.
But I tell you this, I don't think Joe Burrow would change anything, as crazy as it may sound, because you talk about the fact is Jamar Chase,
Yeah.
T. Higgins,
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd,
Yeah.
they got dogs.
They got dogs that need somebody to protect their owner so he can throw the ball to him.
Yes, they got dogs. So I think that it's a big challenge when you look at them. But I still think that when I look at them as an 0-2 team, you know, it's still a team that's really scary. I want to ask you this, going a little.
But I do agree with you about the fact that yes, Bengals being 0-2, I'm not like they out of it. I'm not like worried like, ooh, they out of it. Denver, get ready for next season.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Denver, get ready for next season. Chargers, get ready for next season.
Yes.
I like Justin. I like Justin. I think he's a great quarterback, great arm. That's going to go to waste on a team that's not going to get him the help that he needs. Because once again, he needs the offensive line. And I guess we're finding out how important the offensive line is as we get into this era of where it's just slinging and go.
Yeah. Speaking about slinging and go, Baltimore Ravens, and there's been a report that Odell Beckham Jr. has been spending some time with the Kim Kardashian.
Mm-hmm.
Maronzio.
Yep.
I'm never hating on anybody, man, but come on, Maronzio. The track record ain't good, bro.
Listen, man. I don't want to be in the same room with her because I'm sure she can convince me to give her whatever I got, just like the rest of these ball players. And I ain't got a lot. So she gonna be done with me real quick. It's gonna be like a 2-minute conversation. She gonna get all my bank information and walk off. And kiss the sky and be like, I got it. He only had $40, but I got it. And then walk away and tell all her girlfriends she paid for her valet parking with the $40 that she schemed out of me. I don't understand how these boys look. I don't know what she got going on.
You know what she got,
but she's and this is the correct term to say. She's a succubus. Succubus, the demon that takes the man's essence and leave that man dry. Every ball player that's ever walked past Kim Kardashian, she got Kanye walking around barefoot in Italy. Barefoot in Italy. What black man walking around barefoot in Italy? Italy, Kanye, no shoes on, no socks. I understand he think he Yeezus. Even Jesus would be like, I can put some shoes on, dog. He has some Birkenstocks or something, but Kanye walking around barefoot with shoulder pads on and went out and found a girl that looked like Pete Davidson. There's a lot of things going on, dog, that we're not talking about. There's a lot of things going on right now. And then you saw what happened. Odell got injured on Sunday.
Yeah.
Right? Kardashian. She got his ankles in the trophy case someplace. But he'll probably go get about 14 more tattoos to cover up that injury too. How many teams has Odell Beckham been on in the past 5 years?
Oh man, when you figure
Cleveland,
Giants, Cleveland,
Rams,
yeah, and then now he's with the Ravens. What do you think of Lamar Jackson though? You know, it's been kind of under the radar. You know, he got hurt last year and stuff. But
he gets a lot of unfair comparisons to Michael Vick.
Yeah.
You know, he can't get out of that shadow because he's a runner, but he can throw.
Mm-hmm.
Does he have a losing record? Like, no. Does he?
No. I mean, he's still a bona fide quarterback that has been playing very, very well and at an elite level and stuff.
His numbers are Hall of Fame numbers. If he keeps on at the rate that he's going, Super Bowl title or not, he's going to get a jacket for the numbers that he put up. You know what I mean? And let's also point out the fact that he has a good camp Because we don't hear anything about Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson ain't like doing anything that we like, oh, that's why he can't play because he doing Odell Beckham stuff. He not.
But you gotta, and Maronzio, when you look at certain players, as we got a few more minutes left here, when you have players that have the it factor, Lamar Jackson, good, very talented player.
Yeah.
Very, very talented player. Does he have it? I don't know. He had it for a while. Like Deion Sanders has it.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick Mahomes has it. And it's not too many of those guys in the league. In any sport, LeBron James, it.
Also, it's an unfair comparison to Patrick Mahomes because I believe Lamar Jackson is they're both equally athletic.
Lamar Jackson clearly more athletic than Patrick.
More athletic than Mahomes. But Mahomes had Eric Bieniemy. You got Travis Kelce. You had Tyreek Hill. Like, you've had monsters on your team. Lamar Jackson has been asked to do incredible things with okay talent. Okay talent. Where's his stud? Where's his that's the Dante Culpepper, Randy Moss tandem? He has never had that. And they went out thinking that they were going to get that with Odell Beckham, and it's like, that's not the move. You know what I mean? Like when Stephon Diggs was looking for a new place to go, or when what's my man name who just signed with the Arizona Cardinals?
DeAndre Hopkins that's now with the Titans.
He could have went to Baltimore. Baltimore's a better quarterback.
But
Lamar Jackson's a better quarterback.
He want to get his money. You want to get your money.
Look, you can't be like, I should have had a title when you went and grabbed the bag. I get it. If you want the bag or you want the hardware. Bag or the hardware.
Hey, you can't pay bills. You can't get a Kardashian with just hardware. You got to have a bag.
Well, Odell about to find out that he's not about to have a Kardashian because if he can't play and he can't pay. Everybody, public service announcement. Any man that plays a sport or an instrument, stay away from the Kardashians. You saw what Khloe did to Lamar Jackson. She had this man in the desert.
Lamar Jackson, Lamar Odom.
Lamar Odom. She had Lamar Odom in the desert. In the desert. At a bunny ranch in the desert. Trying to find a blockbuster video. Ain't no blockbuster video, Lamar Odom. What movie was you gonna rent? What movie was you gonna rent? It? Because it's scary. You in the desert looking for love. And no chapstick. Just dry face, mouth, cotton mouth. Come on, have y'all seen Khloe?
Oh my God. Maronzio, we got about a few minutes left, man. As we get ready for, this, I want to take a sidestep, really talk about your talents and stuff like that you've done. When you think of comedy, what does it need? What is the key essential thing in order to be funny that people just will laugh? Because you get a lot of laughter and stuff. What is the key thing? Like we know with basketball, we just talk about sports in general. NFL, you got to have it. Joe Burrow has it. What is it when it comes to comedy?
Relatability. You got to be able to relate to people. You have to be able to meet people where they are. You got to be able to communicate. You have to be knowledgeable of things. When I go to Cleveland, I have to be able to make sure that the set that I do, people in Cleveland will understand it. When I go to Chicago, people in Chicago understand it. Orlando, anywhere I go is being relatable and not trying to force an opinion on somebody. Like, I'm not a political comic, but I'm going to be like, and the country needs to. I ain't get all that. I talk about what I know about. I'm an authority on me. I'm going to tell you about my adventures. You find something funny in it and you apply it. Boom, done deal.
Who are some of your icons and people that you look up that's in the business now?
Right now that's working?
Yeah.
Dave Chappelle, Bill Burr, Jim Jeffries, Daniel Tosh, Mike Birbiglia. I think Earthquake is funny. Earthquake is always funny.
Mhm.
That's it. I don't like a lot of Roy Wood Jr. Roy Wood Jr. is funny.
What's your buddy? The guy's always around the hip hop dudes, man.
Ooh, Lil Duval.
No, he ran all the hip hop, old school MCs and stuff like that.
Ari Spears.
No, the Indian guy, man.
Oh, Russell Peters. Russell. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I know Russell.
Maronzio, where can people find you? And I heard there was a rumor said that you know what? You were upset that you was upset and you made a proclamation that you were not going to cut your hair until the USA basketball team wins a gold medal or returns back to prominence.
Oh, I'm gonna be Rapunzel by the time they win something. They gonna be using my hair for jump rope. LeBron talk about he want to play. He want to play it. Play what? LeBron is the same age as Robert Parrish. What is he still doing in the league? Yo, when we start talking about football, we're gonna talk about the fact that
basketball.
Basketball. When we go to basketball, we're gonna talk about this offseason that the Lakers have went out here and fleeced the NBA of all these players. The lineup, it should be illegal. It's a 2K lineup. It's a 2K lineup. It's a 2K lineup. And watch this year, LeBron gonna have hair out of nowhere. He's gonna have a whole bunch of hair. It don't even make sense. It's illegal. She testing for something, PDA or some PDEs or something. Something was making his hair grow, a Roundup or something. What kind of fertilizer do you people put in their hair to make it?
Oh, but Maronzio, let everybody know where they could get your catch up with you and let them know everything you have going on.
I'm on Instagram, man. Maronzio Vance. I got a podcast called Just Killing Time. I talk about jokes that I'm working on, the jokes that I've already told.
I can't get an invite on that podcast.
Oh, it's a solo. I just do it by myself because I can't. I don't have the mental capacity to try to book people to say, hey, can you come on my podcast and do this? Because if somebody come on my podcast, they can be like, well, I get your podcast. Can you come do my podcast? Shut up. You only ask me because I asked you first. If I never asked you to do it, you would never have asked me. So shut your mouth, shut your pie hole right this moment.
Asper.
Will you come do my podcast next week? Shut up. You do a cooking podcast with your mom. I'm not sitting here with you and your mom making calzones. Shut your mouth. Anyway, Just Killing Time. YouTube, all the streaming platforms, Spotify, Google Play, iTunes. I live in LA, man. I throw up some dates when I'm performing. I'm working on a one-man show right now, and I think Jimmy Butler's my favorite basketball player right now. I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there in the open. Jimmy Butler, despite the fact that he be changing his hair like the avatars on NBA 2K, every season is a different hairstyle. I'm a Jimmy Butler fan. I don't care.
Yeah.
Because he gave it to Minnesota in practice and walked out and went and got some coffee.
Maronzio Vance, listen, man, you've been in heavy in the paint. Appreciate you, man. Always nothing but love. And now we got to do this again because it's week 3 upon us in the NFL.
Right.
So much more to break down.
It was a pleasure to sit in with you, Gerald. I cannot feel the shoes of Rick Mahorn, but it was nice to be here, and I hope.
Well, you're gonna come back. No, we gotta do this again.
But I want Rick to have a speedy recovery. A lot of people know Rick used to be a bookie, collect money back in the 70s. In the off season when the Pistons didn't have no games, so that's why his back hurt because he running up on cats talking about where the money is, sucker. And then he had a Cutlass, Ohio Players, his favorite Ohio Players album in it. Used to listen to the Spinners a lot when he beat people up. He used to play the game, the games people play while he beating people up, getting their money back.
No.
You beat up, you bet on the Red Sox, didn't you, sucker? Give the money up, man. Rick, the only person that beat somebody up and they asked him for an autograph that they done. Like, man, let me get your autograph, dog.
No. Yo, bye, man. Bye. Maronzio Vance. Appreciate you, bro.
Take it easy.
And about wraps up the show. Definitely make sure you tune in for the next episode. I'm Gerald Brown. You've been heavy in the paint. Peace.